Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to our morning Bhagavatam class. This morning, we continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse 29, and the chapter is entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home. We will start with the opening prayers and we'll go straight into the discussion. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parigvacharya Stotha Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parigvacharya Stotha Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव शादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद तेरे गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, श्री मायपुर धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane. Namaste. Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Chidatmane Shri Gaura Karana Shakti Bhakti Namane. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyabari Pachatya Deshatarane. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So as we mentioned earlier that we will be studying from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse 29. The chapter is entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home. I will chant the verse 3 times and I request devotees to please chant after me. I'm going to ask my husband to help me with the tune, which I always tend to go off here a little bit. So Evam Raja Vidure Anujena Pragnya Chakshur Bodhiyata Ajamitha Chitva Svesu Sneha Pashandra Dimno Nishka Krama Brarte Sandarshitatva Evam Raja Vidurena Nujena Pragnya Chakshur Bodhita Ajamitha Chitva Svesu Sneha Pashandra Dimno Nishchakrama Brata Shandarshitatva Evam Raja Vidurena Jujena Pragnya Chakshur Bodhita Jamitha Chitva Svesu Sneha Pashandra Dimno Nishkakrama Bratre Sandarshitadva.
Evam Raja Vidurena Nujena Pragya Chakshur Bodhita Ajamida Devasvesu Sneha Pasandra Nino Nishchakrama Brate Sandashitadva.
Anyone else would like to try?
Evam Raja Vidurenanujena Pragya Chakshurboධita Ajamidha Chitva Sveshu Sneha Pashandradhimno Nishchakrama Bhratru Sandharshitadva. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Swana Guranga. Anyone else would like to try? Okay. I know it's a it's a tough one. That's why I had my husband help me. Thank you. So we'll go for the word-for-word translation. Evam thus Raja King Dhritarashtra Vidurena Anujena by his younger brother Vidura. Pragnya introspective knowledge. Chakshu eyes. Bodhitha being understood. Ajamidha Dhritarashtra sign of the family of Ajamidha. Chitva by breaking. Sveshu regarding kinsmen. Sneha Pashan strong network of affection. Dradhimna because of steadfastness. Nishchakrama got out. Brat by his brother. Sandarshita direction to. Atva the path of liberation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the sign of the family of Ajamidha, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, prajna, broke at once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus, he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation as directed by his younger brother Vidura. Purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great preacher of the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, has stressed the importance of association with sadhus, pure devotees of the Lord. He said that even by a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can achieve all perfection. We are not ashamed to admit that this fact was experienced in our practical life. Were we not favored by his divine grace, Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, by our first meeting for a few minutes only, it would have been impossible for us to accept this mighty task of describing Srimad Bhagavatam in English. Without seeing him at that opportune moment, we could have become a very great business magnate, but never would we have been able to walk the path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under instructions of his divine grace. And here is another practical example by the action of Vidura's association with Dhritarashtra. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was tightly bound in a network of material affinities related to politics, economy, and family attachment, and he did everything in his power to achieve so-called success in his planned projects. But he was frustrated from the beginning, to the end, so far as his material activities were concerned. And yet, despite his life of failure, he achieved the greatest of all success in self-realization by the forceful instructions of a pure devotee of the Lord, who was the typical emblem of a sadhu. The scriptures enjoin, therefore, that one should associate with sadhus only, rejecting all other kinds of association, and by doing so, one will have ample opportunity to hear the sadhus, who can cut to pieces the bounds of illusory affection. In the material world, it is a fact that the material world is a great illusion, because everything appears to be a tangible reality, but at the next moment evaporates like the dashing foam of the sea or cloud in the sky. A cloud in the sky undoubtedly appears to be a reality because it rains. And due to rain, so many temporary green things appear. But in the ultimate issue, everything disappears, namely the cloud, rain, and green vegetation, all in due course. But the sky remains, and the varieties of sky or luminaries also remain forever. Similarly, the absolute truth, which is compared to the sky, remains eternally, and the temporary cloud-like illusion comes and goes away. Foolish living beings are attracted by the temporary cloud, but intelligent men are more concerned with the eternal sky with all its variegatedness. Om Agnathimirandyasya Gyana Gyanashalakaya Chakshur Unmanitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. Thus Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the scion of the family of Ajamidha, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, prajna, broke at once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus, he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation, as directed by his younger brother, Vidura. So this verse is has a very key point for me, at least. The point that repeatedly came out for me was devotee association. Devotee association, devotee association, devotee association. Srila Prabhupada repeatedly mentions the power of association. And he continues to glorify his spiritual master. And as actually, when I was reading this verse yesterday and reading Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's glorification by Srila Prabhupada, I was replacing those sentences within this purport in my mind, replacing it with Srila Prabhupada's name and with our spiritual masters' names, because it's just the first meeting with the spiritual master, the first encounter with Srila Prabhupada's books, the first encounter with the devotees of the Lord is what brought us here where we are today. So Srila Prabhupada here is repeatedly stressing the importance of association of the devotees of the Lord. As yesterday in Chandramali Swami's class, Maharaj was speaking how, I'm looking for my notes. I really liked how Maharaj said it, how Vidur, as we know, Vidur is Lord Yamaraj, Trikalagyan. And he in fact said that he's as good as a super soul. I actually caught that sentence from Chandramali Swami's class yesterday, where he said that Vidur is Lord Yamaraj, which we know. He's Trikalagyan, which we know, but he's as good as a super soul, right? And then he continues to glorify the importance of devotional service. Devotional service and the power of association. Dhritarashtra was very, very merciful to have a brother, younger brother Vidur, who not only is Yamaraj, not only is he Trikalagyan, but also as good as the super soul, guiding the older brother to get out of his strong network. Srila Prabhupada used the word strong network of familial affection, right? His strong attachment to family, his strong material determination. And if we read the previous verses of how Vidur was talking to his brother, the words were not very nice. Very, very strong words. One of the classes by Haryashwar Prabhu, he says they were very cutting words, very cutting, edging words, And one would ask why, if we were to use those same cutting language in today's time, the first thing we will get is, oh, Mataji, you hurt my feelings, Mataji. You don't care about me, Mataji. Why did you say that, Mataji? This and that and all that. Oh, all kinds of stuff. But why we have to go back and really read between the lines of Vidur? Why were his words cutting? Why was his words so strong, so edgy, Is because he cared for his brother. He wanted to save his brother Dhritarashtra. He wanted to, help his brother to get over the attachment of family, the attachment of being dependent. He's lost everything. Like if we look at the verse, Srila Prabhupada says, from the beginning to the end, Dhritarashtra was only concerned about his goal. Oh, I was blind because of my mother, it's all because of my mother's fault. That's why I became blind. What we call in today's world, we sing our problems so much so that we hide behind the problems, which becomes our weakness. And that's exactly what Dhritarashtra is doing here, right? He's singing the glories of his attachments. He's singing the glories of, it's because of my mother I became blind. If she opened her eyes, I wouldn't be blind, right? It's because I became blind, so I didn't become the king. He's singing the glories of his karma. He's singing the glories of his weaknesses, of his attachments, of his, his strong bond with his family, Because why? He's hiding behind his weakness. And sometimes we do that in today's world. We unknowingly hide behind our weakness, hide behind our justification, hide behind our, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. But the more we say, I can't, we are weakening ourselves, right? Like we've heard this analogy by Srila Prabhupada. The wife is telling the husband, chant, chant, chant. And the husband is saying, can't. Right? And the more he says, can't, he has made himself weak. So when we hide behind our weakness, we become weak. We think that we are justifying our weakness. We think that by justifying our weakness, we become strong. No, actually, the more we justify our weakness, the more we cry about our problems, the more we say, I can't, the more we say, oh, but I have this problem and that problem and this problem, the more we sing the glories of our problems, the bigger the problem comes and the weaker we become. This is the example. This is what Vidur is trying to help his brother. Come out of your weakness. Come out of your attachments. Come out of your problems. Come out of crying, being what they call being a crybaby. We've heard that, right? Oh, I cannot do this. Oh, this one, oh, that one. Oh, my husband. Oh, my wife. Oh, my children, Sometimes I think it's so funny. Actually, I don't think it's funny. I think it's sad that, that whenever, and this happens with parents a lot, give me 1 second. This happens with parents with children, whenever something doesn't go their way, they blame it on children. Oh, my children made me run late. Oh, my children didn't get up on time, so I'm late. Oh, we blame it on the children. No, it's not the children, it's us. We are blaming it on the children by making ourselves weak. And I've heard that many times. Don't blame that poor child. That child is dependent on the parent to be prompt. The child is dependent on the parent to act. That the child is dependent on the parent to help the child, guide, protect, raise, and and all the good stuff, right? So why are we blaming the children? Kids are kids. But unfortunately, we hide behind the shield of blaming others for our weakness. That's exactly what Dhritarashtra is doing here. And after losing 100 sons, amazing. After losing 100 sons, right? Still he did not win the kingdom. And still he didn't feel any shame. And he's still hiding behind the weakness of, but I have to live the royal life. I'm going to still live in the palace, even though I'm not the king. Even though the throne has been given to Yudhishthira, but I want to experience the material life. I want to experience the Prabhupada used the word affinity somewhere here. Yes, Maharaj Dhritarashtra was tightly bound in a network of material affinities related to politics, economy, and family attachment. So he was hiding behind the weakness of, oh, but still I am a king, Yes, the throne is given to Yudhishthira, but I'm from a royal family. So I want to experience that royalty, the royal life. I'm going to hide behind that weakness, right? Oh, but if I live this kingly life, my material needs are met. Economy, right? Family attachment. But if I'm with family, then these are my family, I'm attached to them, I need them and they need me, we give all kinds of excuses, right? We are hiding behind our weaknesses. We are justifying our weaknesses. We are justifying our problems. And the more we do that, we make ourselves weak. That's this beautiful quote that I got from Mahatma Das Prabhu, a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and I want to share that. There it is. Very beautiful. He says, not wanting others to know you are weak is a weakness in itself. So when we are weak and we don't want others to know we are weak, we are weakening ourselves. Why? Because we're hiding behind our weakness. We are hiding behind our weakness. We are hiding behind our excuses. We are hiding behind our attachments, our justifications. This is right. This is, the more we hide behind the wall of our weakness, our problems, our excuses, we are weakening ourselves. And when we weaken ourselves, what use are we? Like Dhritarashtra, he made himself weak by hiding behind the wall of material attachment to politics, to economy, family attachment. It took Vidur. If Vidur did not come back to rescue Dhritarashtra, his older brother, he would still be living in Hastinapur, enjoying the royal life, enjoying the family attachment, living like, quote unquote, like a dog, right? We've heard that in the previous verses, right? And the body is getting old, mucus, bile, coughing, this and that, Vidur said. But yet he is still so attached to living the royal life, enjoying the royal amenities and the food and the family and the clothing and the what have you, right? Feeling the importance, oh, but I'm still a king, right? When we hide behind the wall of such attachments and weakness and problems, we weaken ourselves. And when we make ourselves weak, it's very, very difficult to come out of it unless we share it with others. And we sincerely want to come out of it. For example, if I keep telling myself, I have a headache, 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 and I don't do anything about it, will the headache go away? No. I have to do something to get rid of the headache, whether it means taking a nap, whether it means taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever, whether it means stepping away from my desk and going for a walk to relieve myself. I have to do something to relieve the headache. Just crying headache, 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 the only thing that is going to do is going to increase the headache. It is not going to decrease the headache. Because why? I'm singing the glories of the headache. I'm hiding behind it. I have to do something about it. So here in this beautiful quote by Mahatma Das Prabhu, I really, really, really like it. Where he says, not wanting others to know. So the key point here that Srila Prabhupada is teaching us is, if we have a weakness, speak up. If we have a problem, speak up. If we have a challenge, speak up, right? Crying and justifying and hiding and glorifying the weakness and the problems and the excuses, it's not going to help me. It's not going to help the other person. If anything, we both go down together. If we want help, we need to ask. And how do we ask? What do we do? The answer is right here. Devotee association. We let others know, I have a headache. What should I do? Oh, okay. Probably you need to step away from your desk. Do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to take a nap? Or should I give you medicine? Or, should I make you some herbal tea? Yes, you do something. Let someone else know, right? If we have a fever, what do? We take medicine. If we're really, 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 really sick, we go find help, right? We let the doctor know, I have this bodily challenge. What do I do? Please give me the medication, right? If we have problems in school, we try our best to solve the problems on our own, but when we can, what do? We go get help from a teacher, from a classmate, from a tutor, from somebody. Srila Prabhupada is saying the same thing here. We need to take shelter of the devotees, devotee association. Srila Prabhupada mentions, and I want to share a few quotes, and they're all from Srila Prabhupada. Very, very powerful quotes. Srila Prabhupada says, association with devotees means association with the Supreme Lord. I'll say that again. Really powerful. Association with devotees means association with the Supreme Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord. Very powerful. I was always told by my seniors in my training in Krishna consciousness, devotee association is our fax line back to Godhead. Along with chanting, along with hearing, along with reading, but we need devotee association. Because if we think about it, at the time of death, who do we want around us? Our co-workers? Our mature family members who won't even know the chanting of the holy name? Our neighbors? Who do we want around us? We want devotees. Because it's only the devotees that's going to help us to remember the Lord by chanting the holy name, by singing the glories of the Lord, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Only they will remind us. Remember, the last thing that leaves the body when we are leaving our bodies is the hearing. So the hearing is still active. The body may be shutting down, but the hearing is still there. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, verse 20. Srila Prabhupada says, by devotee association, dirty things within the heart of a materialistic man are gradually washed away. Very powerful. Dirty things, he used the word dirty things, within the heart of a materialistic man are gradually washed away by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead if we take to devotee association. He even goes on to say, as silver becomes shiny by being polished, the heart of a materialistic person is cleansed of lusty desires by good association of the devotees. Imagine, if we are fighting lusty desires, if we are fighting selfish desires, if we are fighting attachment and greed and envy and all that issues, and if we really, really, really wanted to go away, take shelter of devotee association. To the degree that we take devotee association, to that degree, all these dirty things, as Srila Prabhupada says, will gradually wash away. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 28. Srila Prabhupada says, by advancement in devotee association, one is placed in devotional service. And the service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna. his activities, his form, his pastimes, his name, his features. All our doubts go away. The more we take to devotee association, the more we get the taste for devotional service. The more we get the taste for devotional service, the more all our doubts and our misgivings and our attachments and our weaknesses, our excuses, our problems, they all go away. Only by devotee association and devotional service. Such a beautiful promise by the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9, verse 11, Dhruva Maharaj, this is a statement by Dhruva Maharaj, where he says, and I want to read it because it's very beautiful. O unlimited Lord, as I was reading this, I would like to make a request that if we all can, to some extent, apply this prayer in our life. It's very beautiful. So I'll read it. Dhruva Maharaj says, O unlimited Lord, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who are engaged in your transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river flow constantly. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. By process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the nascent ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire, like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes, which are eternally existent. What a beautiful prayer by Dhruva Maharaj, right? And he made this prayer, how old was he? 5 years old. 5 years old. And he made this beautiful prayer about devotional service in the association of devotees, begging the Lord, please give me such association with devotees who are always, constantly, that's the word he used, constantly engaged in your transcendental service. So I can also get that mood and also constantly serve in your service. What a beautiful prayer by Dhruva Maharaj. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 13, Srila Prabhupada writes, due to faith, a person associates with pure devotees, and by such association, he develops devotional service. As devotional service develops, his misgivings diminish. Then he is situated in conviction, nishtha, steadfastness, right? Firm conviction. And from that conviction, he develops a taste for devotional service, ruchi, right? And advances to the stage of attachment for Krishna, where he follows the regulative principles of devotional service. Now, this is the key word, spontaneously. So in order for us to want to come to the level of performing devotional service spontaneously, what does the word spontaneously mean? Without being asked, just do it. Right? You know, this famous Nike shoe. I think it's Nike shoe. I think their logo is just do it, something like that. So just do it. We are not asked, just do it, right? Someone comes, they wash the bathroom without they're being told, spontaneous, just do it. Rather than waiting to be asked to do the service, just do it. Someone comes and they spontaneously set up the tables and chairs for prasadam. Just do it. Spontaneity. We want to come to that level of performing devotional service spontaneously, without following a roster, without following a schedule, without following, just do it. But in order for us to get that taste of spontaneous devotional service, and what is that? That is the Raganuga Bhakti. To get to the Raganuga Bhakti, which is spontaneous devotional service, we have to start by engaging ourselves in devotee association and letting all our we can't get rid of everything. That will take years, but it's a process. As we are cleaning our hearts, our dirty things, we become closer to devotional service. We want to engage in devotional service. Then once we be engaged in devotional service, all our doubts, our misgivings, our, blockage, it slowly goes away, right? And once all that goes away, our conviction becomes firm, nishtha. Our belief, our faith, our conviction becomes so strong that we develop the taste, the ruchi for devotional service. Once we have developed the ruchi, the taste for devotional service, only then can we come to the level of spontaneous devotional service without being asked. Just do it. The Nike logo, just do it. Now, another point that Srila Prabhupada says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 29, verse 41. Srila Prabhupada says, this is when I read the sentence, I was like, whoa, Krishna. That's why I started with my class saying that devotional devotee association is our fax line back to Godhead, because he says, unless one is associated with the devotees, he cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. Imagine that. That's like a wow. Unless one is associated with devotees, one cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. That is why it's very, very important for us, wherever we go, whatever we do, we have to always make sure, are there devotees close to me? How far are they away from me? How far is the nearest, how far is the nearest temple? How close is the nearest devotees to me? How close am I to devotee association? How much am I yearning and hankering and hungry for devotee association? On top of that, what kind of devotee association do I want to grow? Do I want a devotee association where they gossip? Then we become gossipers. Do I want devotee association where we just do time pass? Then we'll also end up being like that, time pass, just killing time, shooting the breeze. Do I want a devotee association where I can learn, I can hear, I can sing, I can glorify, I can become a better person. I get the taste for devotional service. My doubts, my questions, my misgivings, they're all slowly being answered, they're being washed away. Do I want that devotee association? The last quote by Srila Prabhupada, he says, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter 22, verse 23, Srila Prabhupada says, one cannot live outside the society of devotees. One must live in devotee association where there is constant chanting and hearing of the glories of the Lord. So wherever we go, that's why if we think, when we travel, what is the first thing that we do? We Google and find out where's the nearest ISKCON temple. It's very natural for us, right? Where's the nearest ISKCON temple? Or where's the nearest Govinda's restaurant? Or where is the nearest Namahata, right? Because why? Devotee association. We want to go to a place where there are devotees, where there is a temple, where there is devotee association. We don't want to be far away from them because Srila Prabhupada says, unless one is not associated with devotees, one cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. We're going to go way back into the hole. So it's very important that we recognize our weaknesses, we recognize our excuses, and we recognize our challenges and ask for help. Let others know, I have this weakness. Please help me. I have this excuse. Please help me. I'm always hiding behind this problem. How do I come out of it? I'm always hiding behind this excuse because, how do I come out of it? Because the more we hide behind the wall of weakness, excuses, problems, and challenges, and justify and sing the glories of them, we are weakening ourselves. And when we weaken ourselves, it's very hard to help ourselves if we do not let others know, I have this challenge. Please help me. Reach out for devotee association. It's only by the devotees can we get out of this crazy world of repeated life, repeated cycle of birth and death, only by devotee association. But the work starts with us. Everything starts with us. Talking about our weakness, talking about our problems, talking about our challenges, talking about our excuses, singing the glories of that. It starts with us. We speak up and we will receive the help. We speak with the right person and we will get the help we need. So this was my reflection. This is what I was able to get from this very, very powerful purport by Srila Prabhupada about devotee association, the importance and the power of devotee association, and how we should not try really hard not to hide behind the wall of problems and weakness and excuses and challenges and keep singing the glories of that and weakening ourselves. Because when we do that, we are not receiving the help that we need to grow in Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my realization from this purport. I'll read that translation and we'll open up for questions or discussion. Thus, Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the scion of the family of Ajamidha, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, prajna, broke at once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus, he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation, as directed by his younger brother, Vidura. Srila Prabhupada ki. So if there are any questions, any comments, any sharing, takeaway, reflection, please do unmute yourself, because I would very much like to hear your takeaway. Yes, Parikshit, my husband.
Hare Krishna, accept humble obeisances to His Srila Prabhupada. Yes, stress devotee association, very, very, very important. Dhritarashtra got the association of Vidura. That's how he got out of this material hole that he put himself in. So in the same way, we should also be associating with devotees who will help us grow in Krishna consciousness. His Holiness Janamali Swami said yesterday in the class that Kali Yuga is accelerating. The degradation is accelerating. To chant the holy name, that counteracts the effect of Kali Yuga. How best to do it? Do it as a group of devotees chanting, which means the devotees have to associate the chant. So the importance of association cannot be, ignored. literally, it has to be stressed over and over again. So we all should be relating to other devotees, not trying to do Krishna consciousness on our own. That's very important. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. I really liked your last point that you shared, trying to do it on our own. It becomes very dangerous, actually. The more we do things on our own without being in devotee association, it's very hard to find the answers because we need each other. What happens is when we start doing things on our own, thinking that we can save ourselves without associating with devotees, we have blocked out the mercy of the Lord. We have made ourselves short. We have cut ourselves short by receiving the help that we need. For example, if we think that like if we are sick and we try so many ways to try this herb and that herb, some sicknesses, the herbs will help, home remedies will help. But there are some sicknesses, we need a doctor. And if we try curing ourselves by trying so many methods of remedies, and now with the internet is like God, everybody has something to say about something, and then we become our own doctor, and then we diagnose things wrongly because we cannot see what's inside, right? We cannot do our own blood test, we cannot do our own blood work, we cannot do our own x-ray or whatever. So we can only feel, we're only feeling symptoms, we are only seeing the outside, and we are trying to cure ourselves from the outside symptoms. But inside symptoms, we don't know because we don't have an x-ray. So for that, we need a doctor to give us the right medicine. So in that same way, I really liked how you said that we need to do it with devotees and not on our own, because we cannot see the inside. We need someone else to tell us. So that was a very, very powerful point you said. So thank you for sharing that. The last sentence was really powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to share a takeaway, a reflection, a realization? You can even put in the
Hare
post.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can
Yes,
you hear me
Kobe.
well?
Yes, I can, Prabhu. Go ahead.
All right. Wow. I always love listening to your insights and your reflections on these scriptures. They're so relevant and so practical. You had mentioned that we need to stop being a crybaby. It's funny. I have a tattoo illustrating that very point. You were mentioning the importance that it's impossible for us to grow in our Krishna consciousness and to develop our realizations without the association of good association of devotees. And I was just recently struggling with some things, and I had reached out to a devotee who I trust and I admire their own realizations and their own faith and practice in this philosophy, and it helped a lot. It really helped a lot. I was really struggling with this one point, and then I prayed a lot that God could kind of soften my heart and soften my mind. And then, just this morning, I kind of realized that, I got to let go of my own hubris, my own way of thinking and seeing things that just really don't serve me anymore, and to really just kind of put my trust and faith into these scriptures and to the devotees around me, and I'm super, super thankful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Colby, for your for sharing. It's so nice. Yeah, when we think of the term crybaby, right? when the baby is crying, we get the help. We give the child the help, right? When we think of a child crying, we don't let the child just sit and cry. We gotta find why the child is crying and get the help that the child needs. So that is why it's so important, that we, like you said, good association, reach out to them and really share with them and receive the help that we need, and grow from it. And it's a process. It's a ladder. It's a step-by-step process. And when we take one step at a time, wholeheartedly, organically, gradually, it goes off, and then we go to the next step. And we do it with devotees because we want, it really helps a lot when we can hold each other's hands and walk the journey together rather than doing it on own. It becomes very, very difficult. It always helps. Like if someone wants to go on trekking, right? It's more fun with a buddy to go mountain climbing or trekking than going alone. Obviously. So it's the same thing, Krishna consciousness, it's more fun with someone than alone. So that's very important that, that we share. Yeah. Thank you for that wonderful sharing, Colby. Really appreciate. And I really appreciate you sharing because it gives me more learning from your sharing. And I really appreciate your honesty and your openness. Thank you so much, really. Anyone else would like to share something? Swanarganga had to attend a meeting at 9 o'clock, but he said that he will share his reflection with me, and I will share with you guys on our group so that we can also benefit from his sharing. Because that's how we learn. Is we learn from each other sharing, and we add on and we grow together. So thank you. Anyone else would like to share or say something? And just a humble reminder about this evening's Bhagavad Gita class by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says it's at 6 o'clock this evening. We will be continuing with Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, and I think we're at verse 26 today. So please do join us this evening when we hear from Srila Prabhupada. It's always so nice to hear from him. Until then, Vancha Krapribhyascha, Kripasandabhevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful day, devotees. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
I
Krishna.
also have
Hare
the
Krishna.
meeting, so I cannot talk much. I have a meeting going on. So
Completely understand.
thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hari Bol.